The Steelers began the season with an 11-game win streak, and now they've lost 3 in a row and dropped from the 1 seed to the 3 seed in the AFC. And if you bet on Pittsburgh on Monday Night Football, I don't blame you. But I need you to realize that this is the face of the man who took your money. He's smiling because he knows he's the reason your kids aren't getting any Christmas presents. Welcome to another episode of Odd Man Sports, the best football show of all time, according to Randy Moss. I'm your host, Brandon. My wife's been throwing up the Des Bryant X at me for years, Perna. I'm also the host of That's Good Sports, as well as the recently canceled Quibi show, Kendall's House, in which a group of hot singles compete to see who can most competently play quarterback in an NFL game with 18 hours notice. Not to be confused with the hot singles Dwayne Haskins was reigning at the strip club last weekend. Today, we're talking about bad Giants trick plays, good Cardinal word plays, and one silver lining Jets fans probably aren't thinking about. Dinks and Dunks, which is a segment where I talk about whatever NFL news I want. Week 15, or as I like to call it, full elimination week is in the can, and the Broncos, 49ers, Lions, and Patriots all were mathematically ruled out of the playoffs. I haven't hated math this much since accidentally taking Algebra 2, thinking I was taking an advanced course on bra removal. Also eliminated, Freddie Kitchens from ever being considered for an offensive coordinator position again. The Giants' tight ends coach was given play calling duties against the Browns, his former team, and he promptly dialed up whatever that failed trick play was. This was like a Make-A-Wish scenario in which a terminally ill kid gets made GM for a day, and then a day turns into a year and suddenly Bill O'Brien's ruined your whole franchise. Now, the only reason Kitchens was calling the plays was because offensive coordinator Jason Garrett got COVID, which is surprising because if there was one disease I expected Garrett to test positive for, it would have been the clap. Not bad by me, but Aqib Talib had the wordplay of the week when he referred to Kyler Murray as calamari. When I heard this, my first thought was, damn, I wish I would have thought of that. My second thought was, do you really want to make fun of a guy's silly sounding name when your name is Aqib Talib? A squeeb to lead, a squid to lead, a scanner darkly. Now remember last week when I told you never to bet against Belichick versus rookie quarterbacks after the Patriots' 22-12 loss to Tua and the Dolphins? Let me amend that. Never bet against Belichick versus rookie quarterbacks unless Cam Newton's under center. Then go right ahead. Newton's now gone 17 straight games in which he's thrown for 1 TD or less, the worst streak in the NFL over the last 20 years. Cam's bounced so many passes, the turf in Gillette Stadium is currently second in receptions behind Stephon Diggs. With Brady finally out of the AFC East, the Bills, my new second favorite team, secured their first division title in 25 years. To commemorate this achievement, Bills Twitter asked fans to tweet photos of themselves from 1995. And as an honorary member of Bills Mafia, I posted this memory of the time I accidentally sat on Andre the Giant's lap thinking he was Santa Claus. He was nice about it though, and gently explained to me that even if he were Santa, there was just no way he could get my parents back together, but that he could introduce me to Billy Crystal. And that was the last day I ever rooted for the Bears. Moving on, I found out that Tyreek Hill and I have something in common. The NFL on CBS tweeted a stat of the most touchdown receptions in NFL history for players under 5'9", to which Tyreek Hill, who is officially listed at 5'10", replied, so? 5'8.5" guys claiming to be 5'10" has been going on since the Roman Empire. When Russell Crowe claimed to be 5'10" and Joaquin Phoenix, did a thumbs down to indicate that he was shorter than that. Sorry, Tyreek. You can't have it both ways. You cannot claim to be 5'10 for the scouts and the chicks and 5'8 for the little guy stats. A wise man once said, a leopard can't change his spots and a cheetah can't change his height. But there's no rule against growing your hair really high and always wearing the cleats with the longest spikes, Tyreek. Money Talks. In this week's segment, we're talking about 3 important words in sports betting. Long, shot, futures. Like this psychic who placed a $100 bet on the Jets way back in September to win their first game week 15 against the Rams. The odds, 120-1. The payout, 12 G's. But the long shot futures bet that caused the most news this week was the Action Network's reporter Darren Rovell, who on Saturday cashed out a 200-1 long shot bet on his alma mater, Northwestern, winning the Big Ten. Midway through Northwestern's final game against Ohio State, Rovell wisely cashed out to the tune of $67,831, which coincidentally is the exact amount of money I'd pay to not have this video of me on the internet.
Long ago I should have seen all the things I could have been.
Cashing out in that situation seems like a pretty wimpy thing to do for a guy who claims that his network is all about action. Hey Darren, what happened to being true to your school and eating that loss like a freaking man, like I'll be doing for my next long shot future bet? I'm betting this heartwarming Charlie Woods story doesn't have a happy ending. A Tiger Woods clone experiment? What could go wrong? Sure, he may win a couple green jackets, but I'm laying a hundy on an angry Swedish lady taking a 3-wood to the windshield of Charlie's 2041 expedition. And it's odd man out. For the Eagles and the Jets on Sunday, it was the best of times, it was the blurst of times. Gather round as I share a tale of 2 shitties. Philly lost to the Cardinals, and Eagles fans were celebrating. The Jets beat the Rams, and their fans were in the fetal position, crying. The Eagles may have stumbled onto the next Russell Wilson, while the Jets may have lost out on the next Andrew Luck. This one random Sunday seems to have changed the next 10 years for these 2 green, airbound franchises. The Jets' win was the biggest upset in the NFL in 25 years, and arguably the second worst loss in NFL history behind the Patriots' loss in the 2007 Super Bowl to the Giants. And now that Trevor Lawrence is likely bound for Florida and not Florham Park, the Jets are no longer an attractive landing spot for prospective head coaches. How do I know this? Because Eric Bieniemy, Sean Payton, Bill Cowher, and Jim Harbaugh all just did a joint announcement. Todd Blackledge, Ryan Leaf, and Robert Griffin III, those are the next quarterbacks taken after Elway, Peyton Manning, and Andrew Luck. So I'm not sure Justin Fields is the consolation prize Jets fans are hoping for. But not all is lost, Gang Green. Sports Illustrated announced the Jets are now in pole position in the Penis Ewell Sweepstakes. The Penis Ewell Sweepstakes. The Oregon offensive tackle with the penis name Sweepstakes. Basically, the easiest way to make sure that you'll end up on That's Good Sports every week. Tell him, John Penasini. Pair Penis Sewell with Mekhi Becton, who when healthy has played well for the Jets at tackle, and maybe draft a running back that's young enough to be Frank Gore's son. Maybe just Frank Gore's son. And a receiver or 2, and you can grow with Sam Darnold. Unless Darnold is the Todd Blackledge to Baker Mayfield. With Baker Mayfield, Josh Allen, and Lamar Jackson all playing well, that is a bit scary considering Blackledge was the only dud from that 1983 quarterback draft class. Luckily for Darnold, Josh Rosen is still out there to take the heat off. 2020 is almost over, and 2021 can't be worse, Jets fans. Sam Darnold may think he saved his job in New York with a win, but a Super Bowl winning quarterback is waiting in the wings, ready to take over. Your 2021 New York Jets starting quarterback, Carson Wentz. Eat it up, Jets fans. Today is over for this video. See ya next year? Or do we do a video right before next year? Shit.